you are officially an incinerator. Welcome to Incense and Common Sense, the live streams that we do here on Alert Zone TV. Shout out to everybody because this is a worldwide movement. I would love for you guys and girls to become active citizens, and you guys and girls already know how to do that. You can do that by hitting subscribe, hitting the bell with all so you can be notified when we drop fruitful and nutritious content, giving the video a like, sharing, all that good stuff. Hope everybody is safe wherever you are on this planet. It is uh, almost 8 o'clock Central. I know I'm late. Sorry, I had a couple of things going on, and so we here. Give everybody a couple minutes. As you come in, make sure you hit the likes button. That'll help us out. If you're up here in the Midwest right now, to all my truckers or anybody traveling, if you don't have to be on the roads, don't be out there right now. We are in the midst of another snowstorm here. We got about 4 inches on the ground already. They're predicting about 7 inches, so definitely we got to get that taken care of. So give everybody a couple minutes to get on in here. Yeah. Oh, by the way, for all my college football fans, lucky you down there in Florida. To all my college football fans, shout out to University of Georgia. I seen they did win the SEC championship. You guys and girls know I'm a native New Orleanian, and in the South we love football. So congratulations to them. And we just had somebody from Florida chime in and rub it in my face that y'all ain't got no snow down there. Lucky. Yeah, it's been about a week, man. We didn't had it. All right, we got Waxahachie in the house. Checking in, Texas. Yo, by the way, shout out to Texas Tech, too. I seen they handle business with BYU. And got Southern Illinois in the building. Okay, well, I'll tell you this. Be careful. I don't know what's going on in Southern Illinois right now, but it's snowing pretty good over here in Iowa, in central Iowa. So be careful out there if you got to get out on the roads, you know. My understanding is this system's supposed to be moving across the state overnight, so it should be over with in the morning. They saying where I live, giving us about 4 or 5 inches, 6, 7 inches on the ground tonight, something like that. So we'll see. We got about 4 inches out there already, so it's coming down pretty good. As you come in, make sure you hit the likes button. Also, make sure you sub to the channel. Make sure YouTube hasn't unsubscribed you. I've been noticing these little games YouTube play when you get to a certain amount of people subbing to your channel. Every 2 or 3 days, they'll knock 2 or 3 of your subs off or what have you. So if you enjoy what you see here, Glock Gen 6, I don't know. I've heard a little bit about it. Don't know a lot about it. Maybe after we get to the meat and potatoes of the conversation, then maybe we'll do a little gun talk. You know, that seems to be the format that works the best here. That we talk about whatever the topic is going to be, and then from there we usually roll into gun talk. I try and keep these live streams 30 minutes, but I very seldomly get to hit 30 minutes. It's usually 45 minutes to an hour. I've had a couple of times we went 2 or 3 hours, so it just depends, man. It just depends on how everybody engage, you know. And like I said, I know it's Saturday night. The people getting ready for the fight. Pitbull Cruz and Roach. It's the college championship weekend. All these college football championships. So, by the way, go Hoosiers. Not a Hoosiers fan, but I'm rooting for them to win. So, yeah, hope everybody's doing well, though. It's that time. It is that time, definitely. Definitely be safe out on the roads. Gonna be out there. All right, so let's go ahead on and get into the meat and potatoes of why I wanted to have this live stream. I have been seeing as of late on my YouTube feed carjackings and carjackings, car thefts, a lot of violent crimes towards law-abiding citizens, and I just kind of wanted to have a conversation with everybody about. A lot of people get legally armed for their homes, but they don't understand you still have a threat when you walk outside of your door. Um, it's amazing in this day and age how many carjackings there are, but then it's also understandable but not acceptable that so many of them happen. Look, we live in a world where social media has changed a lot. People get to talk to people from other ethnic and racial groups that they never would have talked to before. People from different walks of life get to communicate with each other. And the internet is just like mainstream media was, and the internet promotes a lot of negativity as far as yeah, a lot of negativity. And look, this is one of those crimes that a carjacking doesn't end with a carjacking. What I mean by that is, gun in your face, get out. When those guys and girls pull off in your vehicle, it's not over with, because now the rest of the public is in that danger. Unfortunately, you hear story after story after story of people coming home from work, people coming home from church, people out driving and minding their business, in a car that was jacked, running from the law enforcement, running the light of the stop sign and hitting people and killing them. Criminality is gonna be here. The best way to fight criminality is proactive, not reactive. You know, what do I mean by that? You never know when it's gonna happen. Keep your doors locked, number one. Number two, this is the one that's the most important. If you're gonna roll with your windows down, make sure you got your piece on you ready to go. Make sure that you can grab your piece if you need to and do what it is you need to do, especially if you live in one of these places where this is the norm. I'm just telling you that if you've never been the victim of a violent crime, you've never had a firearm put up to your face, you've never been shot at, you just don't understand how traumatizing it is and how that follows you the rest of your life. Besides law enforcement, I know what it's like to have firearms pulled on me. As I always tell people, it's easy to shoot somebody who can't shoot back. We got to get out of the old days. I know a lot of us, I'm of unc's age now. Amongst black folk, once you make it to a certain age as a black man, they call you unc. I remember when dudes used to do this, but them days is gone. I remember when dudes used to steal cars and not jack them. Them days is gone. I'm smart enough to understand I have to evolve with the time. I don't get into arguments out in public. I have had words here and there, and once I figured the person that I might have had a few words with wasn't gonna do nothing, I let it go, cause it's just not worth it. I want you to understand something. When it comes to carjacking, they don't target specific cars to jack. They target specific cars to steal. When it comes to carjacking, even your little hoopty that you think ain't shit, you can lose your life behind it. When these guys and these girls are running from law enforcement, they will take anything that they see running. Your little old beat up work van, all right, we got Dr. T in the building, appreciate you for stopping through. They will take your old beat up work van and they will shoot you in your fucking head if they have to. So don't ever think, like I always say, growing up where I grew up at and being in tune with the people I was in tune with, you don't know what people think about you from the outside. And a lot of times we say, I don't care what somebody else think. Sometime in a criminal mind, that can be deadly. Because you may think you're old paid for a car, that's nothing is pretty about it, but it's dependable. To you, it might not be nothing. All right, appreciate you for stopping through. But to a criminal, your car might be everything that they need, man. Might be everything that they want. Understand something. When these young boys and girls go out here sliding, as they call it now, they slide in stolen vehicles. They will stick their damn they will stick a gun up to your face, and they will come and they will hurt you, man. Home invasions, burglaries, robberies. And I want you to understand something. The criminals are evolving. The criminals are getting braver. I ain't gonna say smarter. They're getting braver. What do I mean by braver? We live in a time now where no matter where you go in this country, it's fucking cameras somewhere. Everybody got a cell phone now. And there's more houses with cameras on there than you can imagine. Also, businesses and cameras on the light pole. For the young people, you might not understand the Patriot Act. The Patriot Act was the act that was signed into law that gave the government the right to spy on everybody. For all of y'all who like talking about communism and you ain't no communist and all this other garbage. All right, what's going on, Brookside? We are in a surveillance state because of national security. For those of you who don't know, Dick Cheney kicked the bucket a couple of weeks ago, and Dick Cheney was behind that. Dick Cheney called way more shots than Bush Jr. did. But nevertheless, it's cameras everywhere. Let me address that, eyes and ears. When I roll through Cook County, I won't have a hat on my head. That's how I solve that. That way I don't get caught with the wrong thing on my head. So, let me just go ahead on, since we having this conversation. Shit. Let's go ahead and have this conversation. That's something good. That's something good that you threw out there. And on Instagram, I've been seeing this, and this ties into being legally armed, believe it or not. Being aware of your surroundings. You guys and girls know I always tell you, I don't have a problem with white supremacists having firearms because I got mine. That's how I stop him. He call me all the niggas he want, long as he don't run up on me, because if he run up on me, I'm going to put him down. I always speak well of the streets, and I always talk about how the streets keep a lot of us safe, whether we know that or not, for the guys and girls that play by the rules. But let's talk about some cultural things that cause violence that maybe we don't know. Now, I'm from New Orleans. We never had what you call organized gangs. We ward bang. So I'm from the third ward. I'm from Uptown. But as long as you mind your manners, you can go anywhere in the city. Basically, people from the city of New Orleans, we wear all different kinds of colors, and we dress similar to each other. Having a soldier rag is just a New Orleans thing. You can wear whatever it is you want. However, when I started driving a truck in 2002, and in 2003, when I really started to get to see the rest of the country, I started learning different things is culturally different and can cost you a problem. Like Eisner said about the way my hat is turned. Well, apparently in Chicago, and I've heard this for years, that Chicago area, wearing your hat a certain way means something. Wearing certain hats means something. I'm a little bit more conscious about what I do when I go into places that I'm not sure about, or I know just wearing something the wrong way can be perceived as oh yeah, I'm gonna get to that. I try and dress accordingly to where I'm going. Um, Being from New Orleans, like I said, we don't have no such thing, and eyes and ears can attest to that. Even though he haven't been living down that long, you can wear whatever color you want down there. Nobody's gonna run up on you because you got on red or blue or pink or green or none of that other carrying on. We, it's different there. We never had to deal with that. I know on the West Bank, out there in Jefferson Parish, a totally different parish, they try to have their little Bloods and Crip thing out there back in the 80s and 90s, but they kept that crap over there. They know, hey, you leave that over there. You don't bring that in the city because you ain't going to tell us what we can't wear. But with that being said, when you leave, unfortunately, you have to understand if you've never been a part of that life, how some people, certain things trigger them. Um, I don't usually wear hats when I go to California. I got my old style hat that I might wear. Usually, for the most part, I'm dressed very casually. Uh, I try and be conscious about what I'm wearing, only because I don't know a lot about that lifestyle out there. Uh, I have heard that that color thing is real. Uh, Knock on wood. Uh, Nobody's put no gun up to me and none of that. But I try and mind my manners and the fact that I understand I'm somewhere I'm out of bounds. And I just try and be conscious of what I do out there. Because it's my understanding, yeah, for people that's really in that life, some of them will give you a pass if they ask you, you know, where you from. Well, no matter where you at in this country or where you at in this world, if somebody's not from around where you from and you ask them where they from, when they open their mouth, you can tell right quick, hey, that person ain't from around here. Sometimes you can look by the way they dress. Okay, he ain't from around here. She ain't from around here. And some of them will let you slide. And some of them will just go hard body. So I don't know. I'm usually, yeah, yeah. I see. To me, Dodgers is the hat of LA. Yeah, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. But yeah, I try and be mindful of certain things. You know, it's crazy. Um, like I said, I'm glad I've been able to steer clear of that for the most part. But you just gotta understand, man. We living in a time where there's a lot of violent people out here, and I want you to understand something else while we having this conversation. These dudes and these chicks, they know it's cameras everywhere. Hell, back in the days, I remember dudes and chicks wouldn't get into it in certain places because it was cameras there. Now, with everybody having cell phones and think, hell, people see cameras and that motivate them to act even stupider now. There was no such thing as going sliding and then getting on the internet and bragging. You know, I just did this. I just cameras influence and they entice the criminals now. So you got to be armed. These guys and these girls, these porch pirates and all that. Yeah, Kobe Bryant. Yeah, I've heard that about Kobe, about not saying anything bad about the guy. You know, like I said, as an outsider, the LA area, LA and was Compton and Inglewood and all that stuff, it's a beautiful sight for me to see. I love the weather out there. Um, I'm too old to move in a place like that. Uh, because I don't know a lot of the politics, and it would take me a while to get used to that. Um, I tell you guys and girls this story. I think this had to be 2008. I want to say 2008, 2009. The first time I actually went to the LA area and stayed. Been to San Diego, been to Otay Mesa a couple times. I had been to Fontana, uh, but I had never been into LA. And when I went to Fontana, basically we went spent the night at the terminal, got up the next morning and went on about our business. I went to Torrance, and as I'm reading the directions coming from New Orleans, I had to take the 10 to the 60 to the 91 freeway to the, I think, the 105 or the 110 to the 405. I come out in Torrance and I had to get off on Crenshaw. Okay. And I had Crenshaw. Now, because I had never been out there, if you've never been outside of, if you're from the LA area, if you've never been outside of there or outside of the state of California, Crenshaw Boulevard has a notorious reputation around the rest of the country. We see Crenshaw Boulevard as just like this, almost like going to like a blood bank. So I see I got to get off on Crenshaw. Okay, I get off. I go to this terminal. I drop this trailer. Now I want to go see Crenshaw. But from TV, okay, well, you know what? Because this was my first time actually going. I bobtailed down Crenshaw with no shirt on. And the reason I had my windows down, the reason I didn't have a shirt on is I was afraid that having the wrong color was going to start a problem. And so I rolled down Crenshaw, you know, before they started that rail system and all that. So I still got to see Crenshaw before it's being gentrified. Well, okay, well, whatever it was, I'm just giving them the story. 2009, yeah. So, as I've been going to LA since then, I don't really know my way around, because fuck, everything is a freeway. And most of the times I go out there, I'm not driving. I'm usually a passenger. And I try and get in the back seat so I can be chauffeured around. So all I do is look around. I don't pay attention to where we at. I know where some of the places are. I know a little bit about how to get around, but I don't know real good. But I like the weather out there. I had even had people on this channel ask me about talking to having like a conversation with some of the different dudes and chicks from the sets that's out there. Problem is I don't know nobody enough, and that's something I would have to get permission to do from guys and girls that's into that, like hood vlogging. This kind of the concept of having people on here that's into the street life, to me, is a good teacher for people that refuse to get legally armed, because maybe sometimes people have to hear from the criminals. Now I'm gonna make this clear: if I'm ever able to get yeah, I still would be, if I got a chance to talk to them, I would still tell them they don't have to give me their name, and I don't want their face out there, because I don't want them to have that attention. But yeah, it's one of them things, man. You see all this stuff on the internet. You see a lot of people getting more and more violent, and cameras is just like people that usually would say, back door. I'm sorry about that. It's people that would usually say never mind. When they see cameras, it enticed them to want to act silly. And I don't think that's a good thing, you know. But like I say to everybody, we got to be legally armed out here. Law enforcement, they are crime responders. They're not crime fighters. Um, Most of them are not proactive, they're reactive. Um, the officers I see being proactive back in my day when I was younger, the proactive cops in New Orleans was the ones who would talk to us with respect. That would be the proactive ones. The reactive ones was the Derek Chauvin type, out there acting a goddamn fool and what have you, and basically they would react when they think they got the upper hand. You know what I mean? So your first line of defense. I want everybody to understand that. For those of you who don't know, I'm gonna go ahead and go there since we're having this conversation. The George Floyd uprisings across the country. In Kansas City, Missouri, and Kansas in particular, law enforcement officers decided they were angry about the uprisings, and the way that they were going to combat the George Floyd uprisings was certain areas, all right, certain areas they wasn't going to answer the calls no more. They were going to just leave people out on their own, different officers. So some officers got left on their own, and some of the places where the citizens called about gunshots or whatever, law enforcement purposely wouldn't respond because they were angry. Whether you were agreed in the George Floyd uprisings or not, that should scare you and that should alarm you. That should make your antennas go up. That law enforcement would get that angry that they would refuse to do their job. That's cowardice in office. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you guys and girls know, I think I mentioned this, down in Florida, you had 6 officers get fired for cowardice in office. And the fact that this woman was being harassed by the ex-boyfriend or what have you, and she had said that this man was going to kill her. When she called the police and said that he had arrived at the house, they were sitting the next block over. They let that woman and 2 other people in the house be killed because they was waiting for the rest of the department to come. That woman should have never died, but she depended on law enforcement and they let her down. All right, we got Echelon Don in the house. Appreciate you. That right there in Uvalde. I told you guys and girls, when it comes to Uvalde, if we've never had a situation here in America where law enforcement was put under a microscope and asked to perform and they showed what they were made of, it was that. My whole thing about Uvalde is law enforcement showed that they were human, that they have family they want to go home to. They're always telling you about this dangerous job that they do. Well, this was a time to be dangerous, and they let them they let them children be slaughtered. These guys and girls had shields. Y'all seen the videos. Y'all done seen the videos, Uvalde. These guys was dressed like Call of Duty warriors. And they sit right there and they let all them damn kids be slaughtered. That should have woke everybody up. Yeah, you know what? First off, eyes and ears, I appreciate the 100, because that had happened across the country. Different departments decided that, okay, we're gonna show y'all. We not, and it was predominantly black areas that they refused to show up for, but they decided not to take the calls. But yeah, let's talk about that. So for those of you who don't know, Derrick Groves, I'm pretty sure everybody's familiar with the prison break that we had in Orleans Parish earlier this year, and where the 10 guys got out, and the debate is whether they were let out or whether they snuck out. Whatever you think about that particular debate, that part, well, that's on you. But there was something I knew wasn't going to happen. The very last person to be caught was Derek Groves. It's my understanding his girlfriend ratted him out because she got mad that apparently there was a woman living there. It's my understanding he was living in the basement and nobody they had him cart closed off. My point is, had that woman not said nothing, Derek Groves probably never would have been turned in, and I'll tell you why. I understand he was convicted of murder and attempt murder. But what happened to his grandmother was the reason that people from New Orleans were not going to give him up. Because that was our way of pointing the middle finger at NOPD. For those of you who don't know, and this is not a rant against law enforcement, but since we having this open discussion, I got to go there. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to continue saying this. As a matter of fact, Gavin McInnes, I don't think much of the guy, but he got Vice Network. There's a special on Vice Network right now about these betraying the badge or whatever. And they actually do a story about Lynn Davis and the cops in New Orleans. For those of you who don't know, Derek Groves' grandmother life was taken because it was set up by an officer named Lynn Davis. I seen this video and I want everybody to listen to me really good. Right now, they have the video showing ice rolling through New Orleans and people running and what have you. I've read the comments. A lot of people are angry. My response is this. When I grew up, we had the jump out boys. We didn't have to be doing anything wrong. And the police would snatch us up. For those of you who never been to the city of New Orleans, if you ever go there and you see somebody in a white button-down shirt, black pants, we never would have turned on because of that case. But people in a white t-shirt, white button-down shirt, black pants, dress shoes, or tennis shoes, and a tie, maybe a suit jacket, works in the French Quarter. That person has a job. That's a working person. Construction people, you guys and girls know how people look at work on construction site. They would yank us when we would get off the bus, when we had to catch the bus, or if we was walking, if we was in the car. We would be in work clothes and we would get thrown on the ground. People would pat us down. There was no outrage. The sentiment was, well, that's good. That's what you need to do. As disheartening as it is to watch this, it brings back memories of we didn't get this support when it was us. When it was us, the story was always told that, well, if you didn't do something today, you probably did something yesterday or you're going to do something tomorrow, so you deserve this. So a lot of y'all don't understand. I've always said this. You can't have crime and drugs without law enforcement being involved. Rest his soul, the great brother Malcolm. Malcolm X said this back in the 60s. The black community has the most policing and we got the most crime. You can't have both. For those of you who don't know what it's like to see every other car be a cop car, I know what it's like. You can't have killing. You can't have drug dealing. You can't have criminality without law enforcement involvement. You can't. Now, we've heard them tell us we can't stop y'all from selling drugs. But all this killing and carrying on going on out here, we're going to bring the hammer down on you. Go watch the first 48 of episodes of them in New Orleans and they'll talk about it. What's going on, Mr. 5-7? We just here chit-chatting, having an open chat. We already got through the meat and potatoes, but just having an open chat. But you hear NOPD say, hey, nobody want to talk about this murder from 2 days ago. We're going to rat pack. We're going to ride back to back and we're going to start stopping everybody. They can't make no money if we out here, so somebody going to talk. NOPD said that. All they did is validate something I had said on this channel before. NOPD didn't need to validate that. I already knew that coming up. But you can't have the crime you have without law enforcement. For all of y'all people who like to talk about drugs coming across the border, Oh, you love that boudin? Yeah, man. That boudin is something. Um, you can't have drugs coming across the border without law enforcement being involved. You can't. You just can't, man. So, I know a lot of times people make certain judgments about things they don't know about. But when it comes to this particular part of this discussion, law enforcement is responsible for a lot more crime than people think they are. A lot more. Remember Training Day? Rafael Perez, the real life Training Day cop. That dude, that dude was running a drug empire, straight up. The LA County Sheriff's Department. You guys and girls already know about what goes on there. Was it Alex Villanueva? He's been all over national and international news about the way he run that fucking organization. That's all it is. LAPD and LA County Sheriff's Department. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Rafael Perez, man. And the movie Training Day, when it first came out, I didn't know it was based on somebody real, but afterwards I read something and I saw about Rafael Perez and the way his head and things were shaped. I said, damn, he reminded me of Denzel from Training Day. I started reading it and sure enough, Denzel played that character. Um, that's why you have qualified immunity. In my LA people, y'all know about the banditos and the executioners that they got out there. That's a part of the LA County Sheriff's Department and the LA Police Department. So much to the point that there's already depositions where certain deputies have already sat down and discussed the tattoos and pointed the people out. Hell, there's damn pictures of them showing their tattoos. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, like I said to everybody, it's just imperative, man. We living in times where what used to be isn't anymore, and we gotta let that go. We used to have fist fights that don't exist no more. We used to have certain decorum about the streets. Unfortunately, it don't exist no more. Cause we've let everybody become a street member. We let any person that got a damn heartbeat become a gang member or into narcotics or what have you. And all they've done is just went out of their way to ruin it. It ain't what it was. This day and age, if you decide to get into the street life, I'm gonna say this. You get what you deserve. Take your lick. Dudes are out here testifying and chicks. And understand something. The women getting offered the better deals up front. Remember Julio Fulio? That girl that set that up, she gonna get less time than everybody. She was the first one to start talking. You can't have five guys get caught and five guys keep quiet. In this day and age, somebody gonna tell. And you know that. The dope game is over. The street game is over. The lucky ones go to the cemetery. The unlucky ones go to prison. I'm just telling you what it is. Yeah, Queso, man. I'm gonna be honest. It's my understanding his dad had did that shit once before. But it don't pay, man. I got a theory. Follow me on this. If you're into the street life, you're supposed to stick to what it is that you into. A car thief is a car thief. A burglar who breaks in homes is a burglar. A shoplifter is a shoplifter. A drug dealer is a drug dealer. A shooter is a shooter. But you can't be all that in one. You gotta pick your poison. You gotta understand something. If you're in the streets and you're a dealer, it's not always logical to get into a violent situation. Some dudes and chicks out here got reputations so horrible that another person that don't have nothing to lose will be the one to take them out. You ain't got to drop $1 on their head. That person already has such a nasty reputation, it's going to catch up with you. And you got to understand that. Which one are you going to be? If you out here slinging, you ain't got time to be robbing and running around here shooting up the block. I want everybody out here to understand something. The streets is a free fall now. They let anybody be a gangster. The streets, anybody can be a part of the street now. The code has been gone. If you go out there, you gotta just take it. If somebody rat on you, you can't cry about they ratted on you. Now you know that's a part of the game. You can't cry about that. You know what? And he sold his own son out. And he used his other children to get out of it. Like he said, I got younger children still to raise. So I ain't sacrificing all of them for one of them. Man, sometimes you gotta ask yourself, is it worth it? And I'm gonna tell you, it ain't worth it out here, man. It just ain't. If you're a drug dealer, all this fentanyl and everything. Yeah. Yep, that's what he said on the stand. He wasn't gonna sacrifice his younger children for his older son. Now, it's my understanding they called him after this happened. I don't know the full story, but like I was saying, you got fentanyl and everything. So now you're not just a drug dealer, you're selling death, literally, because everything cut with fentanyl. So you got that headache to worry about. You just got a lot, man. It ain't worth it out here. It just ain't worth it. I mean, for people who feel like they want to be a part of that life, that's fine. All I'm telling you is you got to take what come with it. Getting told on, getting killed, getting robbed. That's a part of the street life. And going to prison. Let me get into prison for a minute. I see on Instagram a lot. These dudes posting videos from inside of their cells and inside the pods and what have you. If cell phones are supposed to be illegal in prison, why the fuck are dudes in prison posting videos of people getting into fights and all that back there? It's supposed to be illegal phone. That's supposed to be contraband. For all of y'all who don't believe me, listen to this logic. The prison is full of snitches. It's full of rapists and everything else. That whole thing about, oh yeah, he got convicted of a child's crime, a sex crime against a woman. He ain't gonna last in prison. Why he ain't? When there's a whole bunch of dudes back there just like him. Remember, Tory Lanez got stabbed by a dude doing life for rape. So how was this dude able to still be alive after all this time and even pull that stunt? The jailhouse is full of snitches. And it's full of opportunities. And I'm going to tell you, all them guys and girls that get up on them the videos in prison talking about how they ain't going to bend and they ain't going to break, it's because they can't. Because I can guarantee you, you go back there to a lot of them lifers right now, and you tell them, I can tell you 80 or 90% of them, you tell them, if you debrief, we'll let you go, they'll tell the whole operation to go home. They'll tell the whole operation to go home. The only ones who stand on it and take it is the ones who know they can't never go home no matter what. You give them an out and watch how quick they'll talk. It gets tiring, man. And I'm not speaking from experience. I'm speaking from experience on this side of the fence. All right, we got William Fratelli in the building. Appreciate you for stopping through. The streets is over, man. For y'all young men, let me have a discussion with y'all. And if you know somebody young, let them hear this. tell you part of the street life. You gonna get you a fine woman. If you're really making any kind of money in the streets, you're gonna be under you. Your boys gonna hang around you. The fiends gonna come around you. You're gonna be a superstar. It don't matter how much money everybody else making around you, somebody's always gonna be jealous, and somebody's always gonna think you shouldn't have more than what you have. When they rat you out, understand something. Your friends ain't paying for no phone calls. If you can't call them from a stolen phone inside of the prison, they ain't taking no collect calls. They ain't putting no money on your books. If your old lady find somebody that's close to you, gonna try and fuck her. That's a part of the game. I don't care what nobody say. I'm not saying that you're a woman with Ben, but I'm telling you, this is what goes on. Remember, Tekashi 6ix9ine was screaming about how they was trying to sleep with his baby mama. And remember Nicky Barnes, when he found out that woman was messing with Guy Fisher, he told on everybody. He felt like he broke the code. He wasn't supposed to talk to my woman. That's a part of the life. You got to take it. That's what you sign up for. Ladies, when you take that charge, for those of you who do it, when you take that charge, understand something. When visiting day come, he not coming to see you. When it's time to put a few dollars on your books, he might give you a little something. You're going to take that charge. And you're going to do that bid by yourself. If you don't believe me, wherever you live in this country, in America, find out the female prisoners visiting me. In Louisiana, we got parishes. But in the rest of the country, y'all got counties. Go to your county jail. Go to the women's prison on visiting day. And just sit out there and watch how many dudes you see come in there and say, I'm coming to see my wife or my old lady. You ain't going to see that. Years ago when I was young, I had a friend, she caught a charge and was locked up. We grew up together. But going there, she would be the only person to get a visit. Nobody else would come and get visits. And she would talk about that. How the different chicks would say, oh, they ain't had a visitor since they've been locked up. Watch Lock Up on MSNBC. When they show the women, and the women tell you how it's been years since somebody from their family came to visit them. Ladies, when you take that charge, because you like that fun boy, that's your business. I'm not telling you what to pick. I'm telling you what comes with it, with this life. Understand, when you get locked up, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be on your own. And you got to take it. You got to take it. That's why so many women get back there and they turn into lesbians, because nobody come to see them. And even the women that's been back there, tell them, I've been here 10, 15 years and ain't nobody came to see me, ain't nobody coming to see you. Fellas, if they can't get you, they're going to get one of your friends to get you to come out. Knew a story, tell y'all a story about a dude from New Orleans. Rest his soul. This had to be like 07, 06, 07. Dude, making fairly decent money doing this thing. Had a rule, didn't come out after a certain time. Some dudes wanted to rob him. They used his friend to lure him out. His friend he would never say no to. Turned out his friend was in on it. Lured him out of the house one night. Went to go meet up his friend and drop something off to him, a package. And he lost his life. And the friend wound up getting a life sentence behind it because he was in on it. I'm telling you, this is a part of the game. Unfortunately, everybody don't play by the rules. There's always going to be somebody that wants to rob the dope man. Always. Eventually, somebody's going to want to rob you. There's always somebody that's going to be looking to take a shortcut. When you get that package, and you get that package on consignment, you owe that package. You owe that. When you pay up front, your losses is yours. When you take something on consignment, You owe that. In the business world, they take you to court or they put you in the credit bureau. In the street world, when you owe and you can't pay, they come and take your life. And they don't want to hear you got robbed. They don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear you got set up. They don't want to hear you had to flush that stash. They want their money. This is a part of the lifestyle. And if you're okay with all this, you go right ahead on. But you can't not be okay with this and want to participate. That's the difference. You got to take everything that comes with that lifestyle. Everything. Yeah, man. You can do it the long way and the right way, or you can do it the fast way and the wrong way. But I'm going to tell you, most drug dealers don't get to retire. And a lot of y'all like to say, well, if you don't flash money, then nobody don't know you got it. The hell they don't. You think nobody don't know you got it. Everybody got a best friend that they talk to. Oh, okay, you live in Europe? All right, we got somebody from Europe watching. Yeah, see, Mr. 5'7", I think that's the one part most people, especially young people, can see paying with their lives. Here's the problem. It's a 50-50 chance that paying with your life won't be going to the cemetery, it'll be going to prison. And that's the part they can't handle. I knew dudes who did time in the feds, and they would say to me, Shorty, when they bring you into booking, they got signs up that say, why do 10 when you can bring a friend? Just think about that. They're encouraging you to talk. As they say, the first person that gets on the bus get the best deal. It's easy to say what you wouldn't do until you get in that position. It's easy to say, I wouldn't tell on nobody, until you staring down the barrel at 30 years, 40 years flat. Then it don't become so easy. Yeah, that's when reality hit. That's a part of the life. And as I always say, if you can take what comes with the life, be my guest. Man, look, I seen a lot. I was out there, man. I seen a lot. Life with no Let me tell you something. Angola. From all my New Orleanians, all my Louisianians, for everybody from around the country. YouTube got wonderful documentaries. There's a couple about Angola. There's one called Don't Waste Your Life Sentence. You guys and girls ought to watch that, man. There's several of them about how Angola is. When I was a kid, we would always hear these horror stories about Angola. And even though they said some of it didn't change, it's still the same. You get up every day. You work 7 days a week out in the blistering Louisiana heat. You go out there, you walk, you farm, you grow food, you work with animals, you work every day. You in dorms. One guy talked about how he just missed something as simple as taking a bath. And he also said he missed something as simple as being able to take a crap in private. Think about that. He missed being able to sit on the toilet and have some stool time by himself without 4 or 5 other guys strung out along him. Taking a shower alone. That's a part of the life, man. A lot of young boys back there, man. They're not making it. They're not making it, man. A lot of young boys back there. They're not making it. It's these staph infections that some of these people go back there and get. I mean, it is. I mean, I guess it's its own world, but it's a world that you don't want to be involved in. It's just not worth it. Now, like I said, I can't stop you guys and girls from making the decision to get into that. I'm just gonna say this: when it comes to that life, I believe in the old way. You take what come with it, and if going to prison comes with it, you gotta take it. You can't get in there and talk. No, you gotta take it. This is a part of the lifestyle you chose. Either you can defend yourself and don't implicate nobody, or you plead guilty, you don't tell nobody, and you take your time. It's just that simple. But you can't get back there and decide, nah, well, I can't. No, this is what comes with the life, man. Period, point blank. This is what comes with the life. And you gotta take it. Most people can't take it. Now, I will say this. There's a lot of people that this one time they decided to get in their car. This one time they decided to go with their friends and it cost them the rest of their life. Sad thing I saw, man, a guy saying his 2 weeks after his 17th birthday, he went to Angola. He said, I decided to go with my brothers and them to pull a robbery off. And in the process, somebody lost their life. He said, and people keep trying to hang their head on, it was my first offense. Yeah. He said it was his first offense. And they gave him 99 years flat in Louisiana. He said he had done 28 years already, and they denied him a parole. So he came in there, Angola. So that means he was younger than that when he committed his crime. He said, and at 17, 2 weeks after his 17th birthday, he went to Angola. And I know this thing is probably 10 or 15 years old, so I know he's probably done 40 years already. His whole life has been in prison. So this is the type of stuff. No. I'm from Louisiana. I'm born and raised in New Orleans. Angola is the state penitentiary. Angola is the Louisiana State Penitentiary in a town called Angola. We just call it Angola for short, the locals. So anybody from the state of Louisiana, you'll hear them say Angola. We're talking about the prison. By the way, the largest maximum security prison in the damn country, 18,000 acres. 18,000 acres Angola is. And it's a farm, and you're going to work. You're going to work or you're going in the hole. It's just that simple. Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of documentaries you guys and girls ought to watch about Angola Penitentiary and things like that. With that being said, let's go ahead and shift gears for a couple minutes since somebody brought up Chris Becton. Because I feel like I didn't drowned everybody in sorrows and kind of let's change for a minute, because I don't want this to always be like it's a droopy thing. So who's getting one of these Gen 6 Glocks? Or who has one? Because I'm starting to hear people ask me about them. I still don't know a lot about them. I've yet to see a Gen 6 Glock. I haven't had the time. Hopefully I can get this damn truck fixed tomorrow and get this damn semi going. I haven't been to Des Moines because there's a place in Des Moines where I know they probably got them or going to have one. But I've been asked about this Gen 6 Glock, and I don't know. Oh, by the way, he was here in the comment section, Mr. Glocky himself. Eyes and Ears Tactical. That's a nice video you did on your Glock collection. I know you shoot nothing but Glock. I know you're a Glocky, and ain't nothing wrong with that. You know, I just make jokes about Glock because some people very sensitive, some of them Glockies. But y'all make sure y'all go and check that out, man. You got some nice looking pieces. Hell, you made me even think about wanting to get one. But yeah, these I don't know what's gonna be the difference in the Gen 6 or what have you. To me, they all look the same. But what about y'all? Anybody planning on getting anything new anytime soon, or did you get anything new? Or all your old stuff running good? Or what's going on in y'all life when it comes to y'all firearms or y'all EDC or what have you? Hey, oh, by the way, have you been out practicing with your EDC and your home defense in this weather? As a matter of fact, tomorrow, if I can get done when I need to get done real early, I might go out and take my home defense out and blast a couple rounds. I might get a chance to do a video about it. I would go out there now, but I live in town, you know. It's snowing cats and dogs out there. You guys and girls already see me do a video in the snow, so you know I don't mind going out in the snow to show y'all this is a part of the lifestyle that I live, and I still got to make sure that I can defend myself because people don't stop stealing because it's cold and snowing out there. They will still pull something like that. So, how about you guys and girls? Y'all EDCs treating y'all right out there? Um, I'm starting to see a lot also about this Kimber. Was it 2011 or 2K11 or whatever they call this Kimber? It seems to be really popular, really, really popular. And somebody mentioned a Vector. Yeah, eventually I'll get around to one. Shit. Oh, we got 14 people in here. Make sure you go ahead and hit that likes button. And I want to say to everybody, appreciate y'all for tuning in. I know I kind of went off on a tangent about prison and the lifestyle and all that. Like I said, I can't speak on prison in the sense of I've never been back there, so all I know is what I've been told. But when it comes to the lifestyle of being out here in the street, I can speak on that, and I can tell you firsthand, man. I know what it's like. Sometimes you just got to know when to walk away, man. And I'm not gonna tell you that if you get involved to the lifestyle when you get out of it, that the urge to go back don't come. Sometimes you get the urge to just be out there one more night, just to fellowship you, but it ain't worth it. As I always say to you guys and girls out there, you are your first line of defense. Just minding your business doesn't work, because if that was the case, most people homes wouldn't be broken into. Most people cars wouldn't be stolen, and it wouldn't be carjackings. You your first line of defense. Make sure you have a firearm or firearms with you. Make sure you know that firearm or firearms. Make sure you have access to them and you're comfortable. Protect yourself out here. You have to keep your head on the swivel. You have to understand, in church, when everybody bow their heads in prayer, you keep yours up and you close one eye and you look around with the other one. You have to remember, in the grocery store, walking around like this don't work no more, because you don't know who is who. At the gas stations, for those of you who, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of gun tubers out here. We can probably do a big old series about gas station chronicles, about the things that go on at these fucking gas stations. Some of these places across the country, some of these gas stations literally are death traps. And the later it get, the worse it get. People say stay away from large gatherings. Here's my problem with that. Schools are being shot up. Gas stations. Church. Grocery stores. What could be more innocent than going in the grocery store? We gotta eat. The body gotta have food and water. So, yeah, going around large crowds can sometimes be so kind of, but I'm from New Orleans, so I'm used to being outside around large crowds, with the second lines, with the parades, with these festivals that's always going on. And the way you protect yourself is you mind your business, but you keep it on you. When you see too many people making negative eye contact to each other, you start dipping. It's just that simple. So, I've been on here for over an hour. I only wanted to do 30 minutes or so. I think I've held you guys and girls long enough. I'm gonna let y'all get out of here. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Shout out to everybody because this is definitely a worldwide movement. We got a whole bunch of lights up in here. I appreciate y'all taking y'all time out. Once again, if you're up here in the Midwest, right now in central Iowa, it's snowing real good. I know we got about 4 or 5 inches on the ground already, and they calling for 7 or so. We in the middle of the epicenter here where I'm living. If you're up here and you're going to be out on the roads tonight or what have you, make sure you pay attention. Be careful. Make sure you got blankets in case you get caught in a pileup. You never know what's going to happen out here. But please be safe. Be careful out there. If you somewhere that's warm, still be careful. I just want everybody out there to know I appreciate you guys and girls. Without y'all, there is no me. But I want everybody out there, even if you're a felon, figure out a way to get your guns back. Figure out a way to get your rights back so you can legally protect yourself. If you've never been convicted of a crime in this day and age, you should have your firearm, or you should let this be encouragement for you to go and get a firearm or firearms to protect yourself. You never know when it's going to happen. I'll say this and I'll let it go. The hood is not the only dangerous place in the country. Because if it was, in states where they don't have hoods, they wouldn't have jails and prisons. It's just that simple. With that being said, everybody, hit me in the comment section and let me know what you think. And until next live stream or next video, y'all stay safe, stay armed. Make sure you go out there and support your favorite gun tubers. Stay on high alert.